Taylor, thanks so much. 60 years ago today, hundreds tried to march from Selma to Montgomery to demand voting rights for African Americans.
Those marchers were stopped on the Edmund Pettus Bridge by state troopers who tear gassed and beat them to get them to turn back. This brutal event is known as Bloody Sunday. WVTM 13's Maya Caleb reports on the experiences foot soldiers had that day and how Bloody Sunday will be commemorated this weekend.
Picture of Bloody Sunday has never left my heart, neither my mind. Selma, Lord Selma.
On Sunday, March 7th, 1965, protesters gathered at Brown Chapel AME Church to prepare for a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma.
Many threats have been made about the possibilities of what will happen to anyone who would participate in that movement. And of course, my parents had threatened me many times about not participating on that march. But even in spite of that, I slipped out of my back door and made my way to Brown Chapel Church on that day. I'll never forget.
Marchers were headed to Montgomery to fight for voting rights for African Americans.
Before March 7th, 1965, the day we call Bloody Sunday, Black people like my mother and my father were not allowed to vote, which means that they did not have full citizenship. We were second-class citizens.
But they never made it across the bridge.
Colonel Cloud, who was head of the state troopers, said, "This is an illegal march. You have 2 minutes to either go back to your homes or back to your church."
The marchers knelt down to pray, and before they could get up, they were met with violence. Law enforcement blocked the bridge.
The dogs and the horses had begun to push their way into the crowd, just trampling over people as if they weren't human beings. And I could see people who had been beaten, bleeding. And as I started running, as my eyes were burning, because tear gas burns your eyes very bad, and depending on how much you get, it can even blind you.
There was tear gas everywhere. They were still beating people everywhere. They were riding their horses up the steps of Brown Chapel Church. I thought that they was going to actually run their horses into the church and beat people there.
It's a day Cheyenne Webb Kreisberg will never forget. She was just 8 years old.
I continued to try to run to make my way back to Brown Chapel Church, and that's when the late Hosea Williams picked me up, and my little legs were still galloping in his arms, and I turned to him crying, and I said to him in my own childish voice, "Put me down, because you are not running fast enough."
And the same is true for Charles Malden, who was a student leader for the Dallas County Youth League.
There are 2 events that will stand out in my mind for the rest of my life. One is being in the line behind John and Hosea and them on Bloody Sunday and hearing the sound of John Lewis's head being crushed. The sound of that happening, being a 17-year-old kid and being in that line, I'll never forget that sound.
60 years later, the foot soldiers feel that the fight for civil rights is far from finished.
Until there's some type of real reconciliation in this country, we'll always have the same problem. So I'm not surprised about all of this, because there's never been a resolution.
And the hope is that Sunday's commemoration will inspire those fighting for change to keep going.
I think it's important for all of us to come back to not just commemorate and reflect, but for us to get a better understanding and true awareness of what we faced then back 60 years ago and many of the things that we are being plagued with today.
This story is a personal one for me. My grandparents grew up in a heavily segregated Alabama in the 50s and witnessed attacks by the Ku Klux Klan on friends and neighbors. My grandfather has shared stories of neighbors going missing and turning up dead in a creek days later. My great-grandfather was almost abducted once by the Klan, and that same thing could have happened to him. Because of this history, it's an honor to tell stories like this one. I'll be in Selma on Sunday, marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge and sharing experiences, including my own. In Birmingham, Maya Caleb, WVTM 13.
Well, events have been taking place in Selma ahead of the bridge crossing Jubilee, commemorating 60 years.
Lawmakers from around the country, foot soldiers who were there in 1965, and people who want to be a part of Alabama's rich history are all taking part. And Maya Caleb, as she just mentioned, will be in Selma on Sunday morning starting in the 9 o'clock hour. She will be telling stories of the marchers as they cross the bridge and look forward to the future. On WVTM 13, we'll have that for you at 5 and 10.
Maya also will document her own experiences and share them with you on our website, WVTM13.com.